Hey guys, what's up? Today I'm going to build something from Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Probably one of the greatest animated movies in recent times. Let's get into it. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do, but I have some ideas. The first part of this build, I wanted to start by building the dome of the bank that they're sitting on. And that was very hard. It was very hard to get a round spherical shape with Lego bricks. And I had just enough arches. It's actually 8 arches, but I only had 6 in a couple different colors. I made it work, and I kind of tried to make this round shape best scale as possible. Yeah, check this out. It's super ghetto looking, but it holds. Like, you can pick it up. We're gonna want to have it probably flip around, flip upside down, because that's how half the scene takes place. But yeah, I mean, side by side comparison, it's okay. At the end of the day, I want this Lego creation to be able to be turned upside down and also stand vertically, kind of like the Stranger Things Lego set. You can choose between the two settings you want. So I want this to be literally upside down or not, and making it be able to be upside down with this entire dome is really hard to do because it looked abrupt if it just ended and had a flat resting place. So it's kind of interesting. Let me just show you with the actual dome. So with it, right, we're gonna have the main dome right here, and we're gonna have the platform, and then there'll be Gwen and Miles will be chilling right here underneath. You could have it vertical, but then to flip it upside down, we've got these steeples down here, and I don't know how that's gonna attach because, well, if I let go, this would fall and break. Actually, it's pretty sturdy, I don't know. It's also very heavy. Exactly, it'd break. So yeah, we've made a lot of good progress, but I don't know what to do to attach it so you can have it flip over, similar to the Stranger Things Lego set. So the next thing I did for this build was establish a base for the dome of the tower to be on, and then platforms for our minifigures to sit on. But it was very hard because I had to make the platform square, but I also had to have it line up with the circular dome that I built on top, which is super hard in Lego. This whole thing has been a lot harder than I initially thought. Okay, so this is where we're at right now, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm feeling a little discouraged with the build. I don't think it looks good. That's where Miles and Gwen will sit, but I just don't have a good grasp on how I want this to fit when it's upside down, because it's gonna have to be in the air to fit the dome, and yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But if I want it to be the other way, like how we as not Spider-Men and women would see it, it's gonna need some height so we can have the minifigures up. So I'm gonna take a break and see what I can think of. That part of the build was super interesting because I built the actual skyscraper of the bank where we'd get enough height to see Gwen and Miles sitting on the deck thing, both upside down and vertical. So I had to make sure there was enough space so they could sit either way. And I wanted to make it so there's no studs, so I had to reverse the side the studs were on, which was an interesting technique I used with lightsabers. Have a look. So here are the lightsabers up here. We've got lots throughout the bottom, and then we're gonna put this, it's not attached because I was running out of light bluish gray, but this will rest just right on top of there on those studs. And then I'll tile this so that'll stick onto that. And then we can see our minifigures attached. So yeah, we're so close. It's getting there. Oh my goodness, it was so satisfying seeing the whole build finally come together after spending hours of building something that initially seems impossible, building something upside down that's a skyscraper, but having it kind of work. And then I built a stand so it actually could work the way I had envisioned in my head. It may not look the most appealing in that way, but the fact that I did it is still pretty cool. Now let me show you all the finished product. Actually, wait. We got to make our minifigures. Thankfully for this scene, we only need 2 minifigures, and I happen to have both of those minifigures. Let's start with Gwen Stacy here. This is from the collectible minifigure series, as is Miles here. She's not too far off from what we need. The only thing is her hair in the show or the movie, like with gravity, it's pulling it down. I don't have a way to replicate that, so this will just have to work. As for Miles, well, I love the hair and the face. This version of him has arm printing. It's also from the collectible minifigure series. And he's got some cool printing on his mask, but we won't be using the mask. But the torso just doesn't quite fit it. Thankfully, I do have an older Miles Morales minifigure to use. I just gotta find it in this abyss of Lego bricks. So this was the other Miles Morales minifigure I had. I didn't think he had a jacket on. He is not wearing a jacket in the scene, even though it looks really cool. So we're gonna probably wind up using this minifigure anyway. So after trying some different combinations with the minifigures for Miles, I just decided to stick with the one that came in the collectible minifigure series. It just didn't look good. I tried like giving him the torso and stuff. It just didn't work. So unfortunately, it will be a little inaccurate. He'll have some cool arm printing, but it's all right. You work with what you got. Here's a finished product. Okay, so yeah, this thing is absolutely massive. Super tall, super hefty, but really cool that I was able to do it. And yes, there is a stand. And if you've watched the entirety of the video, you'll know why. Because it doesn't make much sense when it's in this vertical format, right? This is a building, right? Buildings don't need stands, right? Obviously, I couldn't build the rest of the building. I ran out of gray bricks. But even with that, you'd think that this building would still look good on the ground. And let me show you what that looks like. So with my camera and tripod, I can show y'all. First off, you can see how big this thing actually is. It's massive. So taking it off is super simple. All you do is take it off like that, and you can set it on the ground, right? And it looks like a normal building. And that could totally work. But I can't wait to show you all what this is actually for in a second. But let me do an overview of the actual building. So obviously we've got Miles and Gwen chilling upside down, which is honestly very cinematic. The whole movie Across the Spider-Verse is amazing. But yeah, we've got just some detail here and totally not the fact that I ran out of pieces. And then we have these like ledges because the whole building is kind of squared. It was really hard to build this building. And then we have this like round dome, which I started with. Very interesting. It is kind of this color in the sunset light that they're doing this scene in. So yeah, there are arches. You could potentially get a minifigure in there. Yes, these sometimes break off. But yeah, and then I used the dome of a planet's Death Star to represent the dome, which kind of works. I don't have the other half. I got it several years ago, but I wanted to build a dome, but it's so hard to get round Lego pieces and structure in Lego. So, and then we got these antennas here, which are in the movie. So yeah, you could potentially put a minifigure in there if you want, you know, it's kind of whatever. Normally I wouldn't care to show off a stand, but this one's kind of cool. Mainly just this detail down here. We've got the picture of Gwen and Miles and then the spider. So the picture actually came with Gwen's minifigure in the figure pack, and then the spider came with Miles in the figure pack, which honestly is kind of a lame accessory, but it makes up for it with this picture. So that's cool having them both together. But yeah, the stand is super interesting. We've got these like notches here where the building can slot into place. It's a little wobbly. They could split apart potentially, but I haven't had that issue yet. But yeah, it's super simple, kind of just a simple UCS plaque. I guess that technically moves. But yeah, I'm gonna show y'all what this stand is really for. Okay, so you take your building, all right, and there's a couple of these like little notches here on the side. I just added some detail. And what you would do, take the whole building, flip it upside down, and slide it into those notches there. Make sure you're good to go. Okay, it still kind of freaks me out, but that is what it's for. But yeah, this is my mock for this week. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe and comment your favorite Spider-Man movie down below. I gotta say, the old Tobey Maguire movies are great, but I do love the Spider-Verse movies. And I can't wait for the third one. When's that one coming out? Hopefully soon, because just great movies. But anyway, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week.